Your favorite player, Franz Wagner, is who I have at 11. Now, I understand you may have him a lot higher than this. You are in fantasy land where you have him probably ranked above his teammate, Paolo Banchero, even though that's not even close to the truth. But that is my
Ah,
14 through 11, so we can crack your top 10.
so now here's where I have the teammates. I have Paulo Banchero at 7, and I have Franz Wagner at 6.
Let's see how you
And
spin this.
I think that had Franz Wagner been the first overall pick and Paulo been the eighth overall pick, we're not having this debate. I think the only reason why Paulo is still viewed as better than Franz Wagner is because he was drafted higher than Franz Wagner. And because he was drafted higher than Franz Wagner, the Magic have clearly prioritized him to be their franchise face rather than Franz Wagner. Paulo
T-Bone.
Banchero, all 3 years in his career, has had a negative point differential for the Orlando Magic. His rookie year, it was -4. His second year, it was -9.1. His third year, it was -2.7. Not even getting into the numbers because it's a big crux of my argument, but just to argue why I think the numbers reflect that way. Number one, I think Paulo Banchero, to put it lightly, is a ball hog. I think the ball stops with him. He reminds me a lot of Carmelo Anthony, and not that Carmelo Anthony was a bad player by any stretch of the imagination, but Carmelo Anthony, when he had the ball, everybody would stand. You'd watch him jab step for 5, 6 seconds, then settle for a tough mid range jump shot. And that is what Paulo's game is. Paulo has the talent to play much bigger and to play to his size, actually 6'10". He weighs a ton. He has a lot of strength. He can get downhill at will. But for whatever reason, he has taken an abundance of mid range shots to the point that I don't think it is beneficial for his efficiency. And people will argue, well, those are the shots he has to take because of the spacing of Orlando. And the reason why that's wrong is because Franz Wagner gets to the rim with the same spacing that Paulo has. That is not fallacy. That is not made up. That is a fact.
Joel, you started that beautiful soliloquy by comparing Paulo Banchero to a future Hall of Famer. A future Hall of Famer
Play style.
close to your heart.
Yes.
Carmelo Anthony is who you compared him to. And then you proceed to point to team politics. If somebody was drafted ahead of somebody, they would be higher on the totem pole and he would be the king of that franchise. I was going to bring up lineups before you did. Question I want to ask, I have two questions. Are you sure that they're playing in the exact same lineups all the time? Because I've never heard a team in NBA history play in the same lineups. In fact, traditionally in the NBA, when a player is better than the other one, they get put in lesser lineups. They have lesser help around them because they are better players. That is one argument. The second question I have for you. So if we're having a draft, you're starting a franchise on 2K or on in real life, you would pick Franz Wagner ahead of Paolo Banchero.
The data would lean that way. I'm not inclined to
I'm not
pick
asking about the data. I'm asking about you. I'm asking about Joel.
Let me get this straight. This is a list of the best players, the best 25 players under 25.
Yes,
I
correct.
do think Franz Wagner is better than Paulo right now. I do think Paulo has a higher ceiling than Franz if he can start playing like more of a downhill force. So, yes, I think it is fair to want to build around Paulo because of the ceiling. But this list is based on right now. And right now, I do believe he is better than Paulo. And shoot me out any lineup that you want. And I'll put in their five versus with Paulo versus Franz, and we'll see the numbers. Name me any five Magic combination lineups that you want. Any of the five, and let's see what the numbers are.
The more you make this argument, the more I am concerned about the Orlando Magic's future. You talk about Franz not being able to shoot the three-point ball. That next to Paolo Banchero as a long-term fit scares me, especially when their finances are going to be what they are over the next several years.
This is what I have a disagreement with.
Franz is making a massive amount of money. Jalen Suggs is making $35 million this year. Desmond Bain is making almost $40 million this year. They are locked into this, and they have two stars that are 1A, 1B, however you want to flip flop them, however you want, that do not fit next to each other.
Yes, and here's the thing is I don't know why these arguments, these talking points are always skewed in the favor of Paolo. Franz Wagner doesn't fit next to Paolo. Well, what about Paolo not fitting next to Franz,
You
who's their
never
actual
answered my
best player?
franchise question, though. You never answered it.
Yes, I did. I did answer it.
Okay, you would say Franz.
Yes.
Okay,
I
fair.
mean, no. Over right now, Franz is a better player. Building around a franchise, yeah, I think Paulo has a higher ceiling. I
Okay.
think Paulo has things that are coachable and that he can improve on. So I'm not out on Paulo. It's just I don't know why the conversation with Paulo is always very positive and friendly. And with Franz, it's just the complete opposite and it's negative. It's like he is not better than him when he is.
It's not negative around Franz. I think Franz is a great player. The only thing I question is, do they fit next to each other? Whether whoever you want to build around, the Orlando Magic, probably like every other NBA fan or media member, would rather build around Paolo Banchero. Just like you just answered, you would rather build around Paolo Banchero. It's not about being negative with Franz. The only thing I'm questioning is, do they fit with each other? We're sitting here and we're doing our jobs. We have to rank these players. We're doing it to the best of our abilities. You ranked Franz better right now than Paolo Banchero. But what I am talking about is a much bigger conversation that they are locked into this core. They made an all-in move on what most people believed was an overpay for Desmond Bain. Are they going to be okay with this core moving forward?
I think that because of Franz and Paulo, they will be. Because I think this conversation is being skewed in a way of picking one over the other. When if one of them just improves what they need to complement the other, this is going to be a dominant duo with a good supporting cast of role players. I think Franz Wagner is an all NBA player. I think Paulo Banchero is an all NBA player. And you don't just give up on one of them a few years into their career because they're not shooting as well as you'd like them to. I think that's foolish. When you have players these talented, you need to try to maximize it. So I'm using the 23-24 season because this past season was skewed with injuries for the Magic. In 23-24, when Paulo was on the court and Franz was off the court, they were minus 3.9. Keep that in mind, minus 3.9. When Franz was on the court and Paulo was on the court, they were, it's loading up right now, but this is not for me to say like this is a gotcha moment or nothing like that. This is just facts. They were plus 12.6 points better. Minus 3 versus plus 12.6. And that's with Franz on and Paulo off. So when Franz is on without Paulo on the court, the Magic are much better than when Paulo is on and Franz is off the court. And the lineups they play next to is similar. Is this lineup, does this have spacing? Like their most played lineup is Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, Franz Wagner, Jonathan Isaac, and Mo Wagner. They were plus 17.8 in 157 possessions.
I see your point with the on-off numbers. I am player for player. I don't care what the plus minus says from 2 years ago on a roster that does not. A lot of the guys you just named are not playing a role on this team. We're talking about right here, right now. I would still rather have Paolo Banchero over Franz Wagner, and it's nothing against Franz. It's nothing against his skill set. I agree. Paolo needs to improve on all the things you named. He needs to get to the basket a lot better. It is concerning that Franz statistically has outgained him in a lot of these stats, but I think it has nothing to do with team politics. It has nothing to do with him getting drafted first overall and Franz going eighth. It has nothing to do with any of that at all of Paulo's issues are fixable. I'm not projecting for the future. I'm projecting for right now, this season. Paolo Banchero will prove that he is a better player than Franz Wagner.
What does Paulo do better than Franz without having to project?
Isolation
Right.
scoring.
Okay.
Isolation scoring. This is what I said.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue defense. I'm not going to argue getting to the rim.
Okay.
But
Who's a better
a
finisher?
superstar, I want my superstar to be able and go and get it in the biggest moments. And that's what Paolo Banchero can do better than Franz Wagner.
Franz Wagner is a better rim attacker. He's a better rim finisher. He shoots the same from mid range as Paulo. The only thing that Paulo has better is that 3-point shot. Franz Wagner shoots similarly from
Add
mid
that to the
range.
list.
And he's free throw shooting. Franz Wagner I think is a better free throw shooter as well. I have to double check that. He has been a pretty solid free throw shooter, and he's a better playmaker. I mean, Franz Wagner isn't a bad isolation scorer. So
No,
like
he's not bad.
I
And
just look at in ball handling, it's Franz Wagner too, because he has better handle to get to the rim. So it's just like I look at all these things that Franz does, and I just think that right now he just does them better than Paolo. And it's not saying that Paolo is not going to one day do it better than Franz Wagner or be better than Franz Wagner. Maybe the isolation scoring is going to be so far away better that he, this is who he is. The isolation scoring that he produces, Paolo does, is leading to bad offense, is leading to a negative point differential for his team when he is on the court with them. It is leading to one of the worst offenses in the NBA. So like,
can we talk about, can we bring Jamal Mosley into this? Can we bring to what the roster was into this? I think you're talking about isolation scoring. You can add 3-point shooting to the list. It's pick and choose what poison you want, Joel. You value things that I don't value as much. I want my star to be able to score in isolation and shoot from deep, and that's what he can do.
Paolo can shoot from deep, shooting 32%
Better than
from the
Franz.
field.
Better than Franz.
But it's not, and he shoots, Paolo shoots 72% from the free throw line. Franz shoots 87%, and he gets to the line more. And that's why he's more efficient than him. So, like, I don't know if it's about valuing different things. I just think the things that you think Paolo is better at, he's not actually better at than Franz. That's
you just admitted he is better in isolation than Franz right now.
Yeah,
and
I think
he has better 3-point numbers than Franz, correct?
Yes, but 3-point shooting isn't just that. Isolation isn't just 3-point shooting. Isolation is.
I know. I'm separating the two. I'm separating the two.
If I can get to the basket better than you more consistently, then I can score one-on-one for the most part just as good, if not better than you. If I can always get to the basket.
I am separating the two. Isolation scoring, I believe that Paolo Banchero is better in a one-on-one situation than Franz Wagner right now. I believe the numbers will tell us that Paolo Banchero separately, not in isolation, in whatever circumstance you want to call it, is a better 3-point shooter than Franz Wagner right now.
Yes, he is. And I think that isolation, Paolo does have the advantage. I'm not disregarding that. But what about pick and roll ball handling? What about how you operate in the pick and roll when you actually involve your teammates? I think that Franz Wagner is much better than him at that. And we've seen players in the past, their entire games be pick and roll centric. And that is enough for them to lead an efficient offense. Like even with Paolo being a better isolation player, when Franz is on the court and Paolo is off, he is leading a high offensive rating that is better than when Paolo is on and Franz is off. So even though he's better in isolation, Franz's play style actually contributes to a better overall team offense. And that's my argument. And that's why, and for me, it's not just, we're not playing one-on-one, this is 5-on-5. And if you contribute more positively to a 5-on-5 environment, you are better in that environment.
That's a fair point. And that's why I think one thing you and I can agree on is it's not a first and a second option on this team. It is a 1A and a 1B. And we can disagree on who 1A is and who 1B is, but that is the current structure of this team.
Yes.
Okay.
And Franz is the one.
And that's just not true.